Oh, boy.
Nothing surprising here, really, I think.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Hopefully, the standard maps already, your capture point maps have been removed from the pool, and SG-1 opting to ban both Kings Row and Numbani. Interesting enough to see a team that bans Kings Row, which we've always referred to as almost kind of like the Dust 2 of Overwatch in some ways. It's so many teams that's their bread and butter, but SG-1 are having none of it.
But I think as well, like Creation Esports, as far as I can tell from comparing them to a lot of the other pro teams, they're I think one of their weaknesses, which is, you can look at it as their strength as well, is they're quite standard. You know, they actually, if you do something different against Creation Esports, that's actually where you can beat them. And if you just let them play, you know, out the game, they actually just play because they're just really strong as a team. So Kings Row, if you actually remove it, that is a map that kind of somewhat tells you how to play. If you know what I mean, there's not too many moments outside of you know, the mid area in terms of where you can be really creative. It's more just about
kind of led
synergy.
by the hand.
Yeah, you are a little bit. So I think removing that's a good pick.
Was anything else here surprising? And since we end up with Dorado, Gibraltar, Hollywood, Nepal, and Lijiang Tower, we get two of the King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, I find it more notable that teams are leaving these King of the Hill maps up. I mean, if you're a team that's expecting to close it out in 3, then I guess it doesn't really matter what the other maps are here. But they're really chaotic, like we saw earlier on Nepal. Teams have said this as well. It's very, very hard to go into a game and have a set strategy and execute that strategy properly. There are too many other variables and outliers or just anything crazy that can just affect the flow of the game. You end up, it's just like, let's just kill them better than they kill us and we win. It really comes down to a TDM kind of game type. So,
I think the TDM, the King of the Hill maps, actually go a little bit in favor of Creation. I would say Artia is just an absolute fantastic gamer. So he's pretty scary to go up against, and they've been playing quite. I wouldn't say you know, a huge amount together, but some of the players have always been playing with each other, even back in the beta. Like Drakius and Artia were on the same team.
Do you favor them in general more in this match then?
Yeah. I think they're one of the favorites going into the tournament, Creation Esports, and I think SG-1 are the team that everyone's kind of like excited to watch because of in their last tournament they actually did put in a bit of an upset. I can't remember who it was. They beat. Was it Reunited? Did they drop them down?
It was SG-1 that beat Reunited.
Yeah, and everyone was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. When
did the Finnish people get good at anything other than hockey? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Artia as well, his experience dates back to Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
You know, he's got Dirty Bomb under his belt. I think even Shoot Mania or some of these guys do as well. He's actually not that old as well. He's a young-looking guy, and he's also fairly young. So this guy's a lot of years behind him in a pedigree during his developmental years of actually being gamers. So he's quite frightening to go up against in game, no doubt about it. And a lot of these players in Creation are the same.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing about Artia, though, not very smart. Not very smart.
Yep.
I was on a team with him back in beta, and then I was like, yo, Widowmaker, legit, we should pick it on Kings Row offense. And he's like, and then we spoke about like me being a captain. He's like, it's all right, but you keep trying to pick Widowmaker all the time. And that was before Widowmaker got nerfed. So Artia, fucking retard, but it's fine. I'm sure he'll do fine.
Oh, I wish we could just have.
I kicked him off the team.
I wish if only we could just have you just sub in every single match, just clone you, get like, you know, just you play all the roles.
That is a lot of people's dreams.
Just
for anything really, parties too included.
Yeah, just exactly.
Clone are too good.
Oh dear, you too. All right, let me just see what's going on here. We do have our first map picked. I think it may even be Hollywood, but the team still need to decide. I'm apparently checking in game for whatever reason.
Apparently you're not. No.
I'm in game.
Looks like you're here. Looks like everything's
There's no problems here. All right, they're deciding. I think it's Nepal we're starting on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's one way to get it out of the way. I mean, as I said, a potentially more chaotic map, and you can sort of let that one be done. But of course, as you're saying, James, you've got a bit of experience with working alongside and playing alongside a few of these guys here.
I mean, I just think that on the Creation side, they're a really scary team because even Bromask, you know, he actually ended up playing roles that were a bit more, you know, kind of off-tanky when that was that whole phase going on. And I was watching this guy playing, and I was like, okay, he's playing off-tank, that's all right. You know, and I was like, wait a minute, he's hitting like, you know, 55%, you know, Zarya and stuff like this. And then I checked his Soldier, and it's like, okay, Soldier's 50% as well. And actually, you know, Bromas on that team, I think he's the one sat middle there on the screen as we look over.
Yes, just the white
he's sat middle, and sat next to him is Artier, and right at the end is Lynx. But yeah, Bromas is actually a really strong player when it comes to DPS as well. So it's a scary team to go up against on the King of the Hill.
We saw Bromas actually even play a couple games with Fnatic or Reunited at the time that they were, seeing if he was the right fit for them. And at that time, Bromas was playing DPS or flexing in those roles as well. So this is a player that can pull that kind of stuff out, and there's no concern. It's kind of in the same vein, I guess, in some senses as Melty. We've got 3 players, obviously, now with Flippy coming in, that are all very adequate damage dealers, and you can go 3 DDs and really put pressure on like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, you know, why they're, you know, in terms of they're so different, you know, in the DPS, because Lynx is a real kind of energy player. When he gets going, he really is like no stop, and RTR is just like, you know, very kind of solid, and I think Bromas kind of prefers looking after the team. Yeah. You know, so he ends up picking, if he does get on the soldier, you normally see him kind of like holding points and actually just kind of looking over people. So they've definitely got 3 different play styles on those players, and I actually think they did get better as well with the pickup of Numlocked and Nox. And Numlocked is actually, I think he's the only English player.
Yeah, he's from the UK, yeah. Nox is French, I think, as well. So.
Yeah. And so, you know, I think they've got a little bit better. I think Numlocked actually was doing some strats for other teams before he joined, so I think he's brought a little bit to creation there as well. But I'm interested to see how SG-1 do, because I didn't get to see that match where they upset Reunited. Yeah. You know, they've got some fantastic players, and I did ask Himsy, you know, because I meet him a lot in queue, and I was like, you know, when you play against me, you're scared of my Widowmaker, and he laughed and said no. So I hope he loses.
Everyone should be scared of your Widowmaker, James. No one denies that.
So now what I'm trying
all in the ass.
Now what I'm trying to do.
It's all in the ass.
Oh, you know all
you
about
would know
asses.
all about asses, mate, wouldn't you? Yeah. All right, now Jason's wrecked the settings here, so that's not ideal, because he was just observing.
Oh, he had some
PC,
weird key bindings for observing.
So Jason, if you're... Okay, I think I understand it now. That's fine. I can probably work with this. It's just a bit awkward. Anyway, so... Again, there's no way of having a draw in this kind of format, of course. King of the Hill, you're always going to have a winner. That's why it's played over best of 3. So the one map itself is played over best of 3. The rounds can be as fast as like 2 minutes or something like that as well if there's no real contest. So we're going to see some pretty insane fights happening around this first point here. It's going to be on the dais part, I guess, on that little platform. So we haven't seen this stage yet, because the last time we saw Nepal, it was a 2-0 affair.
All right, and basically Creation are just bringing out the 2 Lucio strat, and instead of that on SG-1, they've actually got themselves just the 1 Lucio, and I feel like you want to go in for 2 Lucios if you're going to play King of the Hill, if you have the option.
So that's exactly what Creation have done, and you can see it having an effect. Look at this, SG-1 getting completely rolled over. Fraggy is the last one to go down, and they've just wiped SG-1 off the map in the first fight. Not only do you want to avoid getting wiped before there's anything to fight over, but...
Yeah. And this is the interesting thing as well. If you look at Creation Esports and you look at the ultis, they basically put Drakius on healing, which means that all the healing for the whole team is off 1 Lucio. So he's actually at 75%, and Nox was actually doing speed. So now what's going to happen is Drakius is going to hit his ulti timing really fast and use it first, and then they'll rotate and he'll do speed. So this could be really bad for SG-1 even to get control back on the map.
Lynx are now going for that Deadeye. Gets 2 for it as well. That's a damn good result. A third as Zappos falls down. And my God, Creation Esports are looking very scary right now, Nate.
Great clear. I mean, up to 25% now cleared on the point. Jeez. But, you know, with the wipe, that buys them an incredible amount of time. The only threats that were still alive was Lucio and Winston, not going to be the point breakers here. They pretty much have to wait for the rest of the team before they can actually make a move up onto this. So, really solid start for Creation Esports.
And the thing about having the 2 Lucios as well, just because you are able to have the speed, if you can get movement onto your team before the Winstons land, you can actually zone them out with the characters that you want to. So I think their lineup's just really, really superior.
Zappos now does have his Deadeye ready to go there as well, and he needs to do some work big time here for SG-1. They're just being wiped off the map, and Fraggy as well has already gone down that point. They're managing to capture it though. You can see they made some progress, but again, we're just going to see Creation surge back onto it, and you see Draceus and Nox are just dodging away from Zappos and waiting for Artia to come in and get the cleanup.
They lost all their progress they were able to take on that point, and just cruising past 70% now, very comfortable, and no big switches, it seems, coming out of SG-1 to try and counteract what's going on here.
It's all mind games, mate. You just throw the first match really big. You don't even switch characters, and then you're like, oh, we didn't know we could switch heroes at the end of the game. And then you're like, well, wait until next match when we start switching heroes for the...
Came in with got a reasonable flash off on there in a few of them, but the sound barrier comes in with a double Lucio, you just have so much defensive capabilities.
Till the momentum, you talked about Linksa being that kind of player that thrives off momentum. This is a great situation for him. He's going to continue doing just what he does best. We're already over to overtime, and SG-1 haven't had any control at this point for any of the game. And that sound barrier coming down, we talked about having those staggered out there between the two Lucios on the side of Creation. That's been so important for them right now.
And they have another one ready.
And there's a Graviton Surge going up now as well, and no follow-up whatsoever. Absolutely none.
And with how many they've already been able to clear out, it's just a matter of time. If they can just pick off one or two of these guys that are trying to hold it down, they should be able to clear it. And they do. Just about.
Very quick first round there as well. You can just see the caliber that Creation are bringing into these games. My God.
Yeah, the problem I have with SG-1's lineup with the one Lucio, when you want to play with just one healer, you kind of, if you're playing with a Lucio especially, because you're not going to actually have a lot of healing and you want to get speed out there, you need to start picking heroes that actually don't need you to heal them. So you're talking this stuff like, you know, the Genjis and the Tracers, and that would have actually given them some killing power.
Sure.
But the way that they engaged, you know, you do not get to flank this enemy team when they have the two Lucios. So you're pretty much just running into them and channeling, you know, into Creation Esports. So they are going to switch out and they're going to go for two Lucios themselves. So it's going to be a same lineup. And the Zarya is really now probably one of the most important characters, heroes in this fight coming up, because the shields are just going to be huge when it comes out if you can, you know, negate the flashes from the McCrees.
The fight is continuing. You see Numlock getting aggressive as well. It's all about Creation right now. Not looking good. I mean, RT and Bromas have been dropped in response to Zappas and Fragi, but the positioning is so much better for Creation. They can just lock this one down and start that clock yet again ticking. SG-1 completely being shut out, but they need to get attack through. This is very important next few moments here.
Getting that first grab on the point is such a big deal, especially since once you're fighting over it, even if they're half capping or whatever, as long as they don't take it, you're still gaining the percentage time gain of it, even if they're close to getting it. So it's all about holding that spot as long as possible.
Once again, Himsy now just trying to pressure on as well. It's going to be a Primal Rage being used there by Numlock. There's a sound barrier in response here for Creation. It's just going to keep them healthier as this fight does continue. Lynx has dropped, but so is Zappas. It's a 5v5 scenario, but Artia is also going to fall down. Numlock got himself a quick double, probably from a knockoff, if I'm not mistaken, because he sat on the point, but he's lacking support from his team right now. He's doing it on his own. Not too badly, might I just add. Lucios don't do a lot of damage, and Winston, as low as he was, managed to stay alive and kill them both. That's just filthy.
Yeah, remarkable.
Why didn't the other Lucio go in?
Stop there.
When the shield was dropped, they actually could have got a kill.
Because it wasn't you, James Harding.
I actually don't know. I mean, you don't do much damage, but you had two of you.
I mean, we're at 50% now already for Creation.
Yeah.
And ultis, they got Bromas ulti up, they got Artia ulti, they got two on the other side, so they do have the Lucio ulti to play around, and Bromas is going to drop his here and catch pretty much everybody.
Sound barrier being used there as well, so it's going to keep them alive. But Artia came in, I'm pretty sure that was a Deadeye. He's gotten 3 kills off the back of that one. And my lord, I don't know. I know we're in Germany. I know that in some countries that's illegal. That's nasty.
Yeah, that's...
So that's like the only time that actually a Winston can out DPS his team when everyone's actually caught together. He actually hit everybody. So Numlocked went from having a pretty low amount of charge on his, or percent on his ulti, and now he's got full ulti again, which means that fighting on the point, which you're going to need to do now, because you're at 80%, Numlocked is going to be a monster.
Graviton Surge only getting one person and not being very effective with that, but Himsy at least can get himself a double. There's 2 bubbles up on this point, and Numlocked is swinging for the fence, but he's only got the one Lucio with him right now, so it's maybe a successful take for SG-1 if Bromas doesn't have anything else to say about it. He's definitely trying, and he's knocked off the edge, though. It's been nice knowing you, my friend, and it will be the Finnish side getting their first capture of this map.
Yeah, they still have a long way to go with this, but, you know, finally being able to get some ground is definitely nice, and they have a lot of ultimates ready as well on Zappas, Zeta, and Mafu, but at this point, with the 2 picks, so they've definitely solidified this hold for a bit.
Yeah. And they can give the same treatment now to Creation. Not in this monkey needs to get the hell back, and they actually need to set up. But they can kind of give the same treatment. But so what I would want to see like Creation do is actually switch some of their heroes up. Actually go for something that's a little bit more bursty and DPS when you're walking through the doors. Maybe drop one of the Lucios, and maybe even a Mercy so you can play around that. But here they go.
Well, that Graviton Surge is definitely hitting its mark as well. You can see it's just open season for any McCree who's going to be using that Deadeye.
Yeah, it comes up. There's the sound barrier to counteract that res, and immediately Himsy, Hawk, Zappas all taken out, and Creation getting back on top of things here as they retake the point, and there you go.
Not even close, boys. Really. I mean, Creation definitely showing themselves to be just a cut above the Finnish side right now.
Comes from the supports, though, really. I think the support's played really well on creation, and I think that's one of the most important things when you're playing King of the Hill. I mean, it's not like, I mean, when you play payload maps, your DPS are like crucial because their decision making and being able to catch out people and opening that one frag that goes into the next one. You know, the King of the Hill in terms of, you know, how it just plays out, you pretty much are just, you know, you're a DPS facing a DPS constantly,
right.
you know, so there's not so much you can do with the map in a big way, and it's the supports that actually are going to be the ones that, you know, if they support well, if they can move the team well, they can really, set the tone or the pace of the game. So I think I would give that definitely over to creation supports, because I'm not going to give any credit to Lynx and RTF hitting shots, because, I mean, you know, they're at this tournament, everyone should be hitting shots.
That's what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they, you know, if they go, mental. I mean, Numlock, though, his LG, 100%. Eat your heart out, Toxic.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, like, here's the thing, right? This is why we're seeing this double Lucio comp be so sought after, almost be one that you are going to lose if you don't pick up. It started, I think, with how we saw the sound barriers staggered out. One obviously providing healing, one Lucio, one providing a speed boost. So they're all going to be on different timings, and having those ultis out phase is extremely beneficial because they don't stack in that way. But that's Linkster as well. A couple highlights here for you. Really, it was just Graviton Surges to set up a Kree ults and Winston's in the backline wreaking havoc.
So I can't even remember the name of that healer and actually play a lot of it. Zenyatta?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the name of it. I don't know why it eluded me there.
Thanks,
I lost some brain cells last night. But I actually think like if teams are going to play these comps where they've only got one monkey, and even though they've got McCree's, it is very possible, I think, to throw Zenyatta in.
Yep.
And actually get some debuffs and just be able to push for kills quicker. And I think on the first map, you could have considered, instead of having those two Lucios on offense for SG-1, if they were dropping and you want something that can do DPS and it can help as well get kills, Zenyatta would have been a great pick, I think. And that would have actually made them have more survivability and even potentially more killing power.
Yeah.
But of course, there was on both sides a Zarya, which is a shield that removes debuff. Yeah. So it would have put a lot of pressure on Bromas, and I can't remember else who was playing it from SG-1, but it's a possibility. But we'll see. Either way, they lost. Sadness.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Zenyatta always implies a super aggressive intent there as well. Also good, it's like a hunter's mark. You pretty much can decide, you know, who you want to focus down and have your team go towards that. It's been discussed as a possible answer to deal with the amount of Winstons that we do see being played right now as well. But, I mean, the problem is Widowmaker. That's a big problem, obviously, for Zenyatta.
Even against two McCrees as well, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's very difficult to... If you play mid-range, you know, Zenyatta versus a McCree, it's dangerous. Yep. You're almost better off fighting close range as Zenyatta because you're more likely to hit, you know, a couple of orbs or a headshot, you know. But either way, we don't see much of that hero. I am sad. And so, SG-1, there they sit.
Yeah, I get to have a bit of a chat to some of the guys outside earlier on as well. I mean...
Can you spot the World of Warcraft players, by the way? I think it's the guy in the middle.
I don't even remember what Sata looks like anymore.
Maybe the guy with the goatee.
It's whoever you pick, James. You're not wrong about anything, so I would say which one is the World of Warcraft player?
Not sure.
Okay. We're loading in to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Is going to be this map again, which we saw earlier on, which was not nearly as slow as we kind of predicted it would be, guys. We thought it would be a little bit more of a drawn-out affair in that last one, but both Melty and Experiment were pretty
Sucked
quick.
on defense, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Oh, well,
the
that's
words
it.
right out of my mouth.
Jeez, mate, yeah. I'll take credit for it. No, I did point out.
They did both actually didn't play a good defense on both teams. And it was quite odd to see, and they're really going to have to step up, those two teams. So I guess all eyes are going to be on Lynx, really, to start off with. He's pretty aggressive on his Widowmaker, and he's going to be up versus Mafu. And they've still got their two McCrees, and there's a lot of monkeys.
Unless they're doing the classic creation thing, yeah. They sit a Lucio on the table and they have the monkeys beat their chests around it. I don't know why, it's a tradition. It's also quite funny to watch.
Yeah. Well, they're good.
Okay.
Don't question it. Just enjoy it.
This is uncharted meme territory.
But you feel like you feel almost voyeuristic.
There's a swing
and you don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should feel shamed or...
So it might not be the right kind of swing, but we can make it work. Either way. Here we go. Looks like it might even be a diva here for Bromas straight off the bat. Interesting to see how he's going to employ that. You can deny high ground from Widowmaker quite easy with this. You can knock them off. The problem is that it's so easy to headshot a diva The headshot box is massive, so, I mean, you want to start with something like this, push him back, put a defense matrix down, but, I mean, it's got desuited straight away.
Yeah, even though the shield came down there from Nunlock, there wasn't really anything to do. So it's really on Lynx, and Lynx actually gets a pick on the enemy sniper. We just assumed he would. That's why we didn't have to watch Lynx. He's actually one of the most ridiculous snipers when it comes to reactions if he's playing well. So he's very fast. He's not as fast as Taimu. Taimu is a god at sniper. Sometimes.
He's over in America right now, so I think they're playing in Agents Rising, aren't they, James? Taimu, Envy?
I'm not even sure if they're going to that. Okay. Anyway, Matthew's going to take out Lynx. So defense is going to get a lot better. Nice res.
Important to get rid of Lynx as well at the start of things, but there's not much chance you can escape that as well. He's already so low before he went to try and grapple away, and Numlock's getting up close and personal here. More than happy to go in, but there is the res coming out here. That was Hawk's laser down just before he died. Matthew appears to have either been not affected by that res or died straight after it. I think the former was more the case there. Is he still coming back in?
I'm almost scared if they're going to keep challenging this. Like, okay, they need to get out. Nox, run. Where's Lynx? Where's Lynx?
Pushed back.
All the way back in base. Oh, he used Recon Visor as well. That's interesting. I'm surprised he used it to actually try and assist his team. Hopefully he gets this pick, but he's got a Lucio next to him as well. So let's take a look-see. He knows he's there. Can hear him jumping around, listening to some music.
Oh, great little shoulder pick. That was really nice. I mean, look, all right, Mafu showing him up a bit there. Look, I mean, you can use the Recon Visor coming in from spawn to know what you're walking into.
No, it was for his team. You know, you use a Recon Visor when you spawn because you want your team to win that fight without you, right? So you try and give him vision. So he actually had one chance at peeking, but they kind of predicted where he was. And this is really difficult. The other teams were actually defending from this point. I think it was Mendo's team. You know, just defending on here, having your Widowmaker and others kind of a little bit further back. It's actually kind of hard to push in, but it looks like Creation are going to find a way in. Bromas going to get one. Zap is going to reply.
That comes up. The Primal Rage trying to push them out of the position. Does pick up R tier though. There's the res. And still making a little bit of progress. They've taken out enough of the defenders. They can get this, move into the hangar. And picking off a couple of these guys actually as they open up the hangar could make getting at least halfway through there a lot easier by the time the next wave comes up to try and stop them.
This is the really important phase for attack when they actually kind of get this, because you want to stop the enemy team from being able to kind of take any kind of high ground defense if you can. So the fact that Creation already kind of posing, but they're not actually taking high ground very well. They're actually going to send now Winston on top and unlocked. He can drop down. He can challenge that Widowmaker if he wants to. Going to put some damage onto the Lucio. And they've got Lynx, who actually switched out to a Genji. Yeah, he did switch to a Genji. So yeah, they've actually given them the high ground. So this could be dangerous. Creation could be stopped here if the defense goes well. Bromas going to pick up a kill, though.
And Lynx does have Dragon Blade ready to go, but off to the side. Now, with that sound barrier, I thought it was going to come down. I think Nox actually died before he could get it off there. Zappa's picked him up. So Lynx now is trying to make good with this one as much as he possibly can, but he's over-dashed a little bit there and didn't have it available in the end. But, I mean, hello. Damage being done. And the sound barrier now going on towards Lynx means that he's just going to run away.
I mean, he's caused a reasonable bit of disruption to open up time for that payload to get pushed, but hasn't made it super far just yet. They've cleared it enough, though, that now, I think working together, they should be able to get it up.
Oh, Numlock trying to get away there as well. Just his ulti timed out. 2 stun grenades used on him there as well, where eventually he's going to have to go down. But this payload is moving along nicely. RTA going to be channeling that Deadeye. That shield, though, is going to make it very, very hard for him to get anything. He might be hoping for a pickup in the top left corner, but nothing forthcoming there for the man.
This is really big for SG-1. If they're able to take out Bromas. Bromas is actually having a pretty tough game right now. He ended up a little bit earlier hitting a flash, but not actually being able to kill with his right click. And there as well, he goes down. So Bromas, I gave him a lot of praise before he went into this match, but he's definitely not playing up to his normal standards. And yeah, now you've got that position. You can even defend on top of the shuttle. I actually think defending on top of the shuttle is sometimes better because these fights here are completely unnecessary for the defensive team. But they don't have a sniper, so I would say actually that defending here is perfectly fine with double McCree.
And double McCree ult's available as well. Zapp has just used his for zoning. Himsy can do the same if he wants to. So it's just money in the bank or time in the pocket there as well. But Himsy goes down even with his ult up. And now there's aggression coming in. Archgear going absolutely nuts. He himself has Deadeye ready to go. But he's got more important things to do right now as the defensive sound barrier comes out. But Himsy already being off the table. That's going to be a res coming in. There's none available for SG-1.
Yeah, he does Deadeye 2 of them out. But the res, as you said, comes up. The McCree does get taken at the same time, trying to get that payload just a little bit further forward as they step forward. There's the Primal Rage coming out as well, moving in, but great flash grenade onto the Reinhardt, and now it's just that last Winston trying to buy as much time as possible. Triggers a Deadeye, and he's just going to run away.
Mafu did well to avoid getting killed there. He was in a bit of trouble. If he stayed in front of Bromas too long, it would have been trouble, but speaking of the man, Himsy's going to pick him up.
All right, so enough clears there. It looks like they should be able to... Yep, they've managed to get to the next checkpoint, so reasonable bit of time to get there. A great knockdown.
Right. Oh, it was a good Earth Shatter, but no follow-up again.
Yeah.
I actually think it could be worth, since they're still not playing that offensive sniper and Linksor's playing the Genji, to actually drop the Reinhardt for a second Winston. One of the things, this is actually quite an annoying checkpoint to take, but once you get like a sniper high ground or a position as your offensive team on this kind of home stretch here, it's a big deal. But if you actually end up with double Winston, you can normally get your ultimates up and you can challenge the backline and constantly delay the payload. But they're not going to do it, and we're going to follow Lynx. He's just going to slice people down.
Absolute slaughter here, pushing forward to try and take this point. I mean, they've gotten so many of them cleared out now with this Reinhardt going down. As long as they stay on the payload, coming out in time to stop this is going to be very difficult. They're going to be basically making their last-ditch defense as they're putting it in.
And they don't have res on Hox as well, so there's no chance that they can just suicide everybody and actually get a res. They're going to need Hox in this fight.
He's trying to get there as well. I don't really know. He's just trying to hold it up,
Good
I guess,
back.
trying to get out in the open. He knows he's going to have to give himself up there as well. Nox gets himself 2 kills. Linkser is going to be cleaning up the rest of the well, and maybe a little bit unnecessary, but hey, it's all about finishing the game at this point. Himsy tries to come in with the Tracer. That's finally going to end it. And there it is. It's going to be a successful completion there for Creation. Great start. Got slowed up a little bit, though, there towards that second phase.
I actually think that was pretty good from SG-1, apart from the final phase. I do think that if someone's going to come aggressive with you of those kind of the Genji, actually having a double monkey, I think would have been way better.
Yeah.
Because if you actually looked at the Reinhardt fraggy, he didn't do anything in the final fights. I think he got like 1 charge off, but that was the only thing he could contribute. But when you're fighting against 2 McCrees and you don't have a Zarya shield, as a Reinhardt, you're not really trying to block Widowmaker shots, right? But if you have a monkey, you can actually turn on the Genjis, you can chase the healers, and you can actually stop there being from a mass res, if you want to take someone else down. So I felt that the Reinhardt, which is crazy to say, right? Remove the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Who the fuck says that in this game? It's like, it was almost mandatory. But I feel like on the last defense, double Winston is actually really powerful, because even if your team's in a really bad spot, if one Winston has the ulti up, you can actually be like, okay, I have ulti. If everyone dies, I'm just going to use my ulti and dance around the payload, and everyone will actually get back. And you take up so much space, and you can get so much healing that you would hope that your Mercy would end up with a res and could use it well. So I think the last checkpoint, didn't go too well for SG-1. So I'm kind of expecting Creation to take this on defense still. But I will say that Mafu, he played a little great sniper against Lynx in the early stages.
That was when they had that position set up before the entrance to the hangar. He got quite a few picks there.
Yeah, and then he flexed pretty much straight away as well, I think, to Winston after that as well. So, he's a versatile player, but maybe not having a Widow hurt SG-1 a little bit over that area. We'll probably never know, ladies and gentlemen, but here we go. It's going to be now Creation on the defending side to start with, and of course, what would it be without Linkser on that Widow for defense?
So, especially behind a Reinhardt shield for obvious reasons and being able to challenge. But playing a Hog against a Soldier as well as a Widow is kind of like you're going to be giving you're more worried about Bromas, actually.
Giving him opposite, really.
It's giving him the opposite. And, sometimes if you actually play really well as a Hog between your Reinhardt, you can actually kind of somewhat ignore Widowmakers, because it takes so many shots to actually kill you that you can actually just focus the rest of the team down, and all of a sudden the Widowmaker's like, oh shit, I'm the last one alive and I can't do anything, I have to run. And that's kind of the job of the Hog, but does it really work on a map like this? I'm guessing that they're just going to want to focus on the payload, push it down, and then, kind of really force this through to the first 2 checkpoints.
This is classic Himsy as well. I mean, he's made a name for himself as being that player will play Roadhog, sometimes in situations that don't actually make any sense. We've seen teams like Luminosity go double Roadhog in recent times. Obviously, with the impactfulness of whole Hog is incredible for a zone control. But Himsy there just loves to play Reinhardt and Hook. So we'll see how it fits into this comp.
Yeah, I really want to watch the Hog as well. Sorry, we end up switching back to it, because you can actually see he's playing a little bit different. He doesn't want to take too much damage from Bromas and Lynx. And this is where the Hog's going to get dangerous coming into this room. So they've already kind of got where they wanted him to, and now it's all going to be about, is he going to hit that hook? And they're going to have a really tough time actually against that hog when it just comes down to fighting, pre-roll on that payload. And they've got to watch out for if the soldier or the sniper gets picked off by the enemy sniper. This could be devastating. So the push has kind of got the payload where they wanted it. Are they going to be able to do anything more? Who knows? Bromas getting a bit cheeky.
Yeah, jumping around the back as they do manage to take out Froggy and Mafu Zappy simultaneously. RTR goes down as well, but holding on this lower section of the ramp.
And he brings in Bromas, and you won't be able to res Bromas. Or did they get Bromas in the res? No, they didn't. I believe they resed and actually didn't get Bromas there. Did you see a Drakius res? They did.
Yeah, no, he res. Drakius res, no doubt about it.
But he
Bromas didn't come back up,
yeah.
so maybe just out of range. That's a little unfortunate given how instrumental Bromas is. Oh, hello, Himsy. That's a funny time to catch you there, mate, as well. But of course, look, you always have a massive advantage against the Reinhardt as a Roadhog. You can always out-heal his damage. You cop the charge, then you just drink pots straight away, all right? And the 1v1, Reinhardt is just not going to be hitting you fast enough to do the damage. And then you can just hook him straight away. But a little bit of help there from Linksa is going to take down Himsy.
Yeah, Matthew's not been able to play against Lynx's sniper at the moment, and that's really been a lynch for him to actually break this. If they were able to take him down, they probably would be able to. But you've got to consider you've got Bromas and you've got Lynx that can play this long-range game. So when you break in against them, you're going to have to go hard. And so far, it's all the pressures come from Creation on the defense. There are really nice times when they look to a push.
I mean, they've got that pressure coming in because they try to go through the bridge, but you have the McCree down low, but you still have the soldier and the Whittle watching from the high ground, and Mafu does take out Drakius as well, so taking out the opportunity for a res here if they lose too much moving forward.
So, of course, now, if Bromas was actually Shore 4, he would have probably killed the team in this situation, because, that kid, best aimer in the world.
I'm pretty sure Shore 4 has constant Soldier 76 ult, though. That's what I heard.
Yeah, it actually just never goes away.
Oh, that's fine.
But not going to be the case, and they still haven't taken the checkpoint.
It's a sound barrier coming out here as well from the attacking side. So SG-1 not messing around here as well. Himsy's happy to get up close and personal. The shotgun does so much damage with the left click when you're right in your enemy's face as well. And even Bromas has to think twice about challenging Himsy here, who probably should have tried to use that time to heal up, but he never knew when he was going to get peeked around the corner. So, I mean, it's really all the same here. It's going to have to be a respawn back in by SG-1, and that checkpoint was so close.
2 meters
away. I mean, time-wise, they're almost about halfway through all of the time that they have to get all the way in there. And we still haven't yet entered that phase where the hangar is going to be a big problem. And then, of course, that's where everything can get really sloppy. That was a bit messy on the last round for them trying to push through. But they're set up on the top of this bridge. They're going to come down. They've got the Reinhardt right in front. Throws the flash over the shield. Manages to knock it down for just a little bit. And they take out Lynx or so, opening a bit of breathing room here on the defensive side.
Right, so yeah, they backed up the Deadeye there with a bit of a jump down as well. Lots of fanning of hammers happening here. And here comes the res as well. Bromas this time got caught up in that one, and he's not too far away from his ultimate either. Tactical Visor could be deadly if there isn't a Reinhardt out to play. Speaking of which, we'll actually notice that SG-1 have 3 tanks right now. They're bringing in the Winston just to supplement the Reinhardt and the Roadhog.
No, you bring the Winston to supplement that you're not hitting anybody with your Widowmaker. that's the strat. Basically, you're playing against Lynx. He's a douchebag, and you're having a bad time. You're like, guys, I think Winston's a really good idea right now. And you just don't tell him you've been missing all your shots. So he's on Winston. I actually think Winston would have been great instead of the Hog for a lot of this match, but having both, we'll see how it goes.
Zappa's picked Drusaius off there with that Deadeye, so this is going to be a good fight if SG-1 can make the damage stick. Now, Bromas being pressured away by Mafu, and, well, maybe Winston was a really good idea right now. It seems to be working out fairly well here. Obviously, Lynx is still free to actually keep fighting. That could be a dangerous factor as well. He's going to catch Mafu. No way you're going to get away from the Deadeye. High Noon comes one way or another. Fraggy there as well is going to be caught between, and somehow we do have a hole here from Creation, but it's going to be a res here from SG-1, albeit a little bit, I don't know, late. I guess they can keep coming in with another wave, but it's strangely
The defensive
used.
team is actually closer to the payload than the offensive team, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just defend off this res.
Let's see now, Mafu swinging those fists. Oh, that's a good Earth Shatter. Bromas can capitalize on this one as well. Hawks is just going to go down as well. And you love nothing more than plenty of big targets to shoot at when you're a Soldier 76. Look at how close he is to another Tactical Visor already. And he's getting a lot of damage across.
Yeah, just absolutely racking up. The defensive posturing here has just been phenomenal out of Creation, especially considering that we're 5 minutes in. Like, how are they going to get in within a minute and a half all the way to the end? Even if they do somehow break this point, it's like, what's the next step?
You seem amazed at that context. You were like, but how are they going to do it? Well, the question is they're not. That's why they GG'd. So
Yeah.
It's my job
Thanks.
to be. It's my job to not know anything.
So,
Stefanius.
you know, we talked earlier about the toughest part of this map, or one of the toughest parts, is this L bend, right? That's where
Yeah.
we sort of got caught up.
So the thing I liked about the defense that they actually did, and I have to not be so hard on Mafu playing the sniper, was if you looked at the positioning, they actually made it so that there was almost 0 angles that sniper was getting on the majority of the team, and he was only really able to go up against a one-on-one with Lynx when Lynx decided it was the case, and even sometimes Bromas, but Bromas, you're pretty fast as a soldier, right? And you've got your own heal, so you can look after yourself. And even if you just get a few connections on the enemy sniper, it actually scares them because it's like you hit him like once or twice, and then you have to think to yourself like, okay, if the Widowmaker hits me now, it doesn't have to be a headshot to kill me.
Right.
And it almost, maybe doesn't even need to be, a fully charged body shot. It could, if you're down to 50%, right? And then you're like, okay, and that's Lynx, so he's going to hit no matter, most of the time. And it's very scary. So I really think the defensive positioning was really good, and it really stopped Mafu. He went on to Winston. That was actually where he was able to offer the most damage for the first time and actually get into the fights. But yeah, overall, I didn't think the Hog did what it was meant to do, and it looked like it could at the beginning. Because at the beginning, it was like, okay, this Hog, he's high ground. Everyone else is low. This is good. He just needs to hit like one hook. You just get one hook, and you start this off with one hook, and you can get that first point.
Sure.
And it really could have been, but didn't happen. And the only good hook he got was on Bromas, where he pulled him down back to checkpoint 1, where actually Drakius did use a res, but wasn't able to bring him back up. But it just didn't matter because they couldn't handle Lynx and Bromas at the back. So GG, Artier gets player of the game. Wonder what button he's gonna. Oh my God, what's this?
Did he just press Q?
Press
dear.
Q.
Yeah, but they had no pressure up here, and I think like on defense as well, when you have to consider like that top platform. People have been using that, normally just with a solo sniper, but now they're starting to put other heroes up there, and they have been for a few, months, even in before beta went down. You have to kind of consider when you're attacking, it's like, if there's 3 pillars in terms of where you defend, right? You've got your server room to the right, that's like pillar 1. You've got your main room, and you also have a little blue box, and then you've also got the back room. And you have to choose like which one are you going to win big, and you have to win it big because you have to take out one of those kind of core pillars of the defense. And so if they're not in the server room, you could actually use a server room.
Sure.
And they could have used a server room because it was open, and they actually could have, instead of trying to take the fight on the point where they were like getting shot down from, but still not handling the people that were shooting them down, they could have gone server room and played a little bit of footsies and actually done some damage and actually got their sniper in the server room and actually defended him because the sniper
established a better position.
Yeah, because the sniper got in the server room once, Mafu, but then he was chased out by Artier on the McCree. But if everyone actually went into the server room, that's like, okay, now they have 2 places that they are, right? And we can actually, decide if we want to send someone up to the right and try and bully them off the top, or, play here. And I think the Hog could have gone up top, but it would have been better to have a Winston and just jump up top. But anyway.
Well, not going to be enough for SG-1 there as well. And yeah, I mean, Kimsey likes to play a bit of the Hog, but like you said, didn't really see it used. I mean, the way we saw it during the Alienware Cup was really, really good from Luminosity. Didn't really see the same kind of style there. I mean, Mafi had a few moments there, I feel, on Widowmaker, but was forced off that one. And when your Widow's being forced off Widow by the opposition Widow, you're going to have a bad time because it's never going to be a more ideal situation if you lose your Widow and have to go to something like a Winston. You just have to make do with what you have.
And definitely against Lynx as well. Lynx is one of those players that when he plays well on Widowmaker, it's just absolutely fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
Like you see other Widows like Reaver, I think it's for Cloud9, and he's like a consistently good Widow. You're expecting him to hit, a good, percentage and most of them headshots. And then sometimes you just get Lynx and you're just like, okay, this guy is actually just headshotting, and he's really fast with it. And it's not all like full powered shots, but he just constantly can connect together. So, but he's also a little bit inconsistent Lynx because of that as well.
Because he's so impetus based as a player as well. His momentum is very important.
Yeah, momentum's key for Lynx.
Yeah.
I think if it starts going bad for Creation, that's when you can actually start knocking them off their game. Because it can affect some of their newer players like Lynx, I think.
Is that the hallmark of a fragile mindset, do you think, though? I mean, Lynx, he looks young, at least.
Yeah, he is young.
He's a young bloke.
And he's
as well.
Finnish. So you naturally, as a Finnish person, you don't believe in yourself. This pretty much sums up this game, right? Finnish people don't believe in themselves. And in one team, there's one Finnish person, so they only have like, one person to deal with.
Right.
And then in the other team, you've got a whole team that doesn't believe in themselves because they're Finnish. So, when it starts going bad for them.
Because then they realise the rest of them are Finnish as well, so they don't believe in each other either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
just kind of spirals down.
I mean, I've met a lot of pro gamers from Finland, and they're actually like really. It's not that they don't believe in themselves; they're just so modest. You know, I've never met a braggy Finnish person, unless you talk to them about hockey.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
But that's fine.
No one plays that out of Southern.
So we're already at 2-0 for creation, and we're going to go into Hollywood.
It's been damn fast, hasn't it, boys? I tell you what, it's breezed by in Hollywood. Now, this is a map where I would be happy to see a Roadhog used well. I mean, I even think in the second phase of this map, we saw, again, I'll bring this back because Luminosity are probably the most pertinent example in my head of teams that are using Roadhog effectively. They're sat on buildings, they're sat on alcoves or awnings, and they're just pulling people up there as well. The amount of control you can exert with them as well, and especially towards the end, it's so easy to push people either off a point when you're trying to capture or defend it. When you've got
the final point Roadhog is actually really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I would definitely like a hog at the end. I'm not sure about the other points as much, you know, in terms of the first 2 points, you know, playing guess where the Roadhog is in point 2. But I guess if you do it well, you do it well, right? Yeah. But yeah, on this map, Mafu is going to be picking up Sniper.
Widow by the looks.
Yeah. Should start calling it Widow, shouldn't I? Blizzard won't like that.
Yeah.
He's got a Sniper.
He's playing
Junkrat, you're happy?
Yeah,
Nate, there's a Junkrat.
Emzy, respect the rat.
Respect the rat.
Respect the rat.
I'm sorry, I'm Aussie and I don't
to-
even like him that much.
Junkrat is
Wow.
amazing.
He's all right.
He's amazing.
Junkrat's a base god, man.
Like that?
Don't do me like that.
I don't know, man.
See,
Okay.
now we're finally at the point where
Symmetra
I
Mercy.
can pretend to talk.
I think this is really good. You can easily defend with just a Mercy and a Symmetra, and it's way better having the res. I don't think you need a Lucio on defense on this map whatsoever.
It's a bit
okay
excessive.
for positioning. And then they're actually, if they're going to bring out a Farah on links, what have they got to counter that? Okay, they've just got Mafu, a bit of McCree, but they've got no debuff. And he's also going to have Drakius. Lynx, if he does stick on Farah, this could be really dangerous to play against. Because Farah shits on Junkrat.
Yeah.
From a great height, you may notice.
Yeah.
It's much
Well,
taller.
you're
She's much
hitting
taller.
That's the
a
high
Farah
velocity
with,
shit.
Yeah.
hitting Farah
Like-
with grenades doesn't happen. So.
I wonder why that's why Seagull plays Farah.
Exactly.
Then he can...
But apparently it's good luck to be shot
Makes
on by a
sense.
bird. Someone was telling me the other day it's good luck.
I think that's just supposed to try to make you feel better about the
Just got
fact
shit
that
on by a
your,
bird,
your
right? What are the
car,
odds of
your
that?
clothes,
Yeah.
or
So Matthew sits at the back of the site quite often. In fact, we've seen him in some occasions. If he expects a Farah, he'll sit right behind the dumpster.
I think
over.
they need to... I wonder if they're just building ultimates. I mean, Numlock's dying. He's not building ultimates by any stretch of imagination, but they look like they were playing really slow there.
whiff there on the stun, not getting too
Going
much
in.
done.
And there was a res there in the background as well. We'll see Matthew just try and hang on. Oh, dear.
Good night.
Okay, that's a good time to check in with the man. It's not what you want at all. And this could be dangerous as well. The Symmetra hasn't had a chance to put down a teleporter yet on this point, so she's essentially going to be useless now. The creation
yeah.
have breezed through, a kick down the door, they put the flag in the ground, and no good.
So I've now decided Junkrat is awful for the pure basis that actually you're just feeding a solo offensive Mercy a res.
Yes.
And after that fight, Drakius resed, got unlocked back up, and now he's up to 79%.
So you used to feed people, everyone, all their ults, and now you just feed the Mercy their ult now.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, that Mercy, Drakius actually getting that res off and Numlock getting back into the fight was, yeah, and of course, you know, the Farah did actually do its work. So let's go on to Lynx as we follow him on his Widow. They're up top. That's very cheeky. How'd they get up there?
It's a solid
Someone
spot.
built a handy lift on the side of his building.
Well,
Yeah, we're getting, you know,
guess it's a
important
bit
props and whatnot up there, I guess. It was RTR, I think they're just channeling the Deadeye, but not finding too much for it. Zappos went down, actually, in the meantime. So they've got the man advantage going forward now as well. Fan the hammer on towards the retreating Himsy there, who is quite low. Hasn't opted to go for the hog. He's actually just stayed on the Winston for the most part. This is incredibly good progress.
They're moving so smoothly. They've barely been stalled at all. I mean, the Winston comes down to pop the shield, but that
Are they playing for a
not the most
res?
impactful thing ever.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was Hawks there. Just
I was just watching them push the car, wondering when the blue team was going to actually start contesting, and they're like, no, we're playing around this res. It will totally work. It did
Earth
not work.
Shatter was used by...
Oh,
it wasn't
nice
by Fraggy. Yeah, blocked Lumlock straight away. He'd already used his Earth Shatter as well, so that guy's done
Drakius
really,
has
really well to
res.
stay alive for so long. And there will be a res available as well. That's pretty big. Also, Graviton Surge, if you even need that. It seems like this Creation don't even need most of their ultimates here to just dominate in these fights. They're just outplaying.
I mean, I'm so surprised that they didn't want to contest that earlier. When you have high ground, you normally pick a moment where you go, right? And they just kind of trickled down. And then they were like, okay, we got a Mercy up here. The res wasn't strong. The res was also too late because your team were dying in odd, timings. And then you died instantly after your res. Okay, we're going to lose links there, but it's not really even a problem because in this stage, like, this is free, right? This part here, you just get to push the payload. It's as soon as you get down to the bottom corner when stuff starts happening. So we'll see what Mafu can do on the defense. They have got a monkey with Primal Rage.
Yep.
I would suggest, I don't necessarily think they need to throw that into the first fight, and they definitely shouldn't use it if Bromas throws out a Graviton Surge. But I think Bromas's Graviton Surge has to really come in at a crucial moment where they want to get the payload over the end. You can't use it too early, the Graviton Surge, whatever it's called. Is it Graviton Surge?
Yeah, Graviton Surge.
Yeah, you can't use it too early, so they're playing really nicely here. Link's getting a good amount of damage. That's a wasted Primal Rage. I don't think they're going to gain anything off this. If they defend here, the next push will surely be in favor. And you can actually see the in comes a Graviton Surge after the Primal Rage is going to wear out, and that should go in favor, in my opinion, of Creation.
Yeah, they've just been completely blazing a trail down this map the whole way through.
But Drakia still has res.
Yeah, that's right. They can just respond with that as well. I mean, Frankie had ult. He goes down with Earth Shatter, so stalling out's going to get that much harder now. This payload is getting real damn close, and Mafu, ballsy as you like, up on top of the Caravan, unfortunately, he's going to have to... He's only going to be able to afford one of those, I think, after this tournament there. We're going to see the pressure up, and I don't think there's much chance.
Hello, love.
This is going to be over pretty quick.
These guys have just been.
I mean, they're still going to wipe him. There's no ults, and it will be their match. And it's a very decent time. I can't see them actually holding this, even if they're throwing tracers.
No, they're going to go
it's fun to watch, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly standard. I'm just glad we don't see the D.Va stacking anymore. Tracer, maybe a D.Va thrown in there is what we're trying to use to stall it out, but still really impressive stuff there from Creation. They just seem to
They're taking advantage. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, it's
I feel
fine.
like I'm interrupting, but because I did interrupt, I guess. They're taking advantage of enemy teams' mistakes, which is actually something that's really impressive to see at this kind of level tournament, because a lot of times you consider that Overwatch is about actually just being good at your composition and executing it well, and really, if you're a real top team, you're actually just trying to constantly punish other people's mistakes. So when you see an early Primal Rage, they didn't do anything to it. They were like, he's Primal Rage. They went, okay, let's back off. And then we're like, okay, now is a really good time for a Graviton Surge. And it's like, done. There was no threat coming in, so they're playing really well off SG-1's mistakes, which is SG-1 aren't making a lot of mistakes. They're not playing like the team that, toppled Reunited. I mean, if they beat Reunited must be really shit.
I'm sorry, this doesn't exactly make Reunited look good, I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, but we saw them play later on in the night.
And Reunited are amazing, by the way.
They're a good bunch of lads, that's fine. Too easy shit. The rest is fine. It's fine.
I've heard they're all right.
So what was the time? Sorry. They're not even gonna get first point. No. Whatever. What's the time?
4 minutes 28, I think.
Well, that's such a good time on Hollywood.
Yeah, really impressive. It's a shorter map, but still, you can get so easily congested right towards the end, of course, in that second stage here. So there's a lot on SG-1's plate. This could be over very, very soon.
I'm gonna pick up Zarya. Oh no, you're gonna change. Gonna go for double McCree and Zarya. That's a nice comp. That's a nice comp on offense, and you should be able to get through. You should be able to get through the Junkrat with that, but you're up against two McCrees. So the scary thing about running the two McCrees like this, when is the Junkrat is like okay, if the Junkrat's positioned offensively, it kind of, basically the Junkrat needs to be able to constantly back off. It's really important that the Junkrat doesn't get picked, because if you constantly back off and Lynx can keep spamming, it gets difficult for the McCrees. If he stands up front, not so much. Bromas and RTR, I'm wondering if they can kind of open up. I would like one of the players kind of above Cafe, which is in here to the right. Yep. Cafe up there. If you have one of the McCrees at least up there for a little bit at the start, if they're pushing in.
Oh, you mean out here? Was it?
No, not out here, but in the point. But it's okay. It's it'll be interesting to see how the McCrees handle the defense. I think that's what's really key here for Creation Esports.
Well, let's see what Himsy can do on this Zarya. I mean, we've seen him flex a few different picks, mostly Winston, to be fair, over these last few games. His Roadhog was pretty underwhelming. And again, Graviton Surges were pretty darn good from Creation last time around. It's time to reciprocate.
So, the Junkrat spamming in from the side. And if the Junkrat doesn't get contested, it gets really dangerous. I wonder if they should try and speed in. And already you've got the McCrees actually split up, which is really nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, just using that to distract from the side with the grenade spam while Almas up top comes in with, gets the flash on both.
This is back away now. The point's going to start to be captured there.
This is huge if he gets that kill.
Oh, did he get the Mercy? No. Mercy got the res off there as well, but it's still going to be undergoing. RTM manages to get up there as well, and he's going to follow it up well. He's definitely done justice to the res being used on him, but RT's got a fair bit on his plate now to deal with. The Zarya being right up his clacker is not going to help him out at all. I think he's just going to be chased away from that one. And Nox up on that point, staying alive, as Lucio's are rather good at doing, especially because you need burst to kill them. But no, it'll be unsuccessful.
That's a really good take. And the Hox is at 10% for his res. Yeah. I think Himsy actually played really well there. He got so much charge off the Junkrat and ended up putting out way more damage than probably the majority of the team. And he's going to switch off to Hog. So we're going to see a Hog. This is it. You called it. You called it, bitch. You were like, let's play, find the Hog.
Coming back.
Did I get something right? No.
Phase 2. I believe in your
I
Hog.
cheated. I saw him do this the other day, so I guess it doesn't really count. But let's see what he can do with it here as well. I mean, well, hello, he's going to try and salvage it. Really?
Wow,
He's laying on the ground. That's unnecessary.
Insult to injury.
Well, it's just not necessary, really, is he? He's just going to be on the ground for a couple of seconds. You can probably finish him off, but that's fine. We carry on. You're concentrating really hard, James. Is there something you want to see in particular?
No, I'm just wondering, this is almost their last attack. Because if they actually get wiped on offense, it should be over in terms of time. So they probably know this as well. If they get wiped once, I would imagine that's game for creation. So Mafu versus Lynx. Lynx has almost got ulti as well. He's only 10% away. Oh, they're going to come through.
Looks like the Himsy Hog is doing some work here, but RT is back on his feet now as well, and he's all going to make up for lost time. There's no doubt about it. Oh, the Flash Hawk's just going to get away. That's pretty important.
Oh God, he gets the res.
Barely gets away to make the res.
Man, that was very, very close there as well. I mean, well pulled off by him. That's what you need to do as Mercy. You need to go for those escapes. You are going to be focused down. Lynx showing us a bit of flair, a bit of class there as well. Gets the finish. That's how you play it. And Zappis is going to finish him off.
Nicely done. All right, so I think it's still moving. There's a lot of people shouting inside those rooms. It's getting a bit crazy in there. MZ going to use his ult. Not going to be able to pick up a kill. Going to take a huge amount of damage, actually, and Bromes is going to take him out. Hox actually kills Lynx.
So they've stalled it for just
Which is amazing.
Little bit here.
Look at this, DPS Mercy. Doesn't work.
Not good.
No.
So, I mean, the problem is when you are road hogging, you're either, well, not so much throwing out a hook, but when you're using that whole hog, is that you don't have any defense for yourself. You can't actually pop pots. You can't really move that easily either. And you're sort of forced to just try and control the recoil on your ultimate. And that's when you're kind of vulnerable in some cases as well. So you see Himsy go down there as well. Great Earth Shatter. That's all Creation need to clean this one up. Numlock surfs on through. Doesn't even find anyone because the rest of his team's cleaned it up. RTA, the man with the honours there, gets 3. That's the GG. It comes out and it's going to be Creation skating through, coasting through even to the next round. It's a 3-0 victory there in that best of 5.
Let's see what they do when they celebrate. You ready? They don't care. Oh, there was a little bit of camaraderie there. Numlocked. He's happy to see the coaches. Doesn't care about the rest of his team.
No, well,
it looks like they just finished a scrim. Look at them.
Yeah, go on, boys. Yep, all right.
What were you expecting, James? What did you want to see?
I don't know. I just, there was a bit of, shouting in the booths, so I thought there'd be a bit more animated.
You thought there was a lot of high energy, yeah.
SG-1. That room looks really hot. I reckon one of the rooms has got air conditioning. The guy at the back, sunburnt. That happened in that room. Finnish people.
Just the lights.
Just the lights.
You need the SPF.
Just studio lights will sunburn Finnish people.
Oh, it doesn't take
They
more
didn't even
than
go
that,
outside.
So Handshake's coming out now as well. Creation. You said that they play fairly standard, or that they do go for a relatively, maybe not predictable, but just straight down the line approach here. But it doesn't seem to have really hurt them here at all. It seems like they could do standard, and they just do it well enough to overcome SG-1 there.
If you're the better team and you do standard, it's going to work. So actually, Creation, this was a really good win for them because they didn't show anything special.
Yeah.
So the other teams watching are like, we didn't learn anything about Creation. We just pretty much took their moments, and it was just played out the way that they wanted it to play out. surprised that they got beaten. Got the first point on Hollywood, lost.
Yeah.
But I think that was really credit to SG-1, and hopefully that's something that we're seeing more of from SG-1. Actually, like being able to break and being able to continue push. But it felt like they were a little bit desperate, SG-1, when it came into. As soon as they lost momentum, some of the ways that they attacked was a little bit desperate. Yeah. And one of the things, like at the beginning of Overwatch, everyone was kind of doing these tactics where it's like the tactic was go, go, go. You know, and everyone's like, okay, run. And and it's like you actually need to be a lot smarter now with how you engage. You can't just be like, yeah, we have this composition and we walk in. It's really about positioning and
where you come in from, at what time you choose to do it.
And SG-1 at the end, it was literally that go, go, go. And you see people go, 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 and then all of a sudden your McCree's in front of your Reinhardt shield and it just dies. And then you're just like, yay, stop, stop, stop.
There goes everything.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing from Creation as well, not only decent understanding of timings in general, but also, again, an ability not only to identify when a mistake has been made by an opposition team, like we saw a few times from SG-1, but also to make the right move and capitalize on it. Or sometimes don't do anything when they do see a Primal Rage being popped. They're like, well, we're not going to do anything here.
Yeah.
This doesn't require a response from us. We let him swing and swap flies for a while, and then we go in and start the fight here as well. So this was Mafu getting charged into the wall, and that Hollywood deal was a fairly brief affair. See, this was Lynx just shutting things down towards the end on the attack.
Happy faces.
Yeah, I think that could be happy. I think Creation...
What a hook.
Top 3.
10 out of 10 aim.
This was the moment that actually, I think afterwards he didn't get the kill on the...
just missed it. And
yeah, just missed it. And that actually gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Because they actually had momentum. And if he took out the Mercy there, Hawks on Mercy, if Arto took him out, that would have been GG as well. So plenty of opportunities to Creation really to win just because they set great times. And yeah, it must be quite relaxing going into the second half of Hollywood when you're like, yeah, we set like 4 minutes. And then you're like, what can really go wrong, you know? And so they were playing very relaxed, and I don't think SG as much. So we're going to bring over some people.
Squeeze up, boys. We'll let some of the lads in. Oh, yeah, of course, you sit next to me. Come on, have a seat. Well...
Hello.
So we have Lynx and Nox here from Creation. Thanks for joining us, guys. Your mic should be on by default, so just hold them up to your mouth.
Okay.
Lynx, first to you, mate. How are you feeling after that game? I know there's a bit of sickness going around in the team, and even in general in the event, some guys aren't feeling 100%, but you guys look pretty sharp in that game.
Yeah, it's like even if you're sick, you got to focus on the game, you know? It's like, I think I actually played better than I played yesterday, for example. Well, not yesterday, but like, what was the last cup? Alienware Cup?
Yeah, the Alienware one.
Yeah, I felt like I performed better on LAN than on that cup, so I don't really know if it's too bad to be sick, you know?
Sure, I mean,
sick,
probably not ideal.
Play better sick? All right.
Yeah. Did you play good? Did you play good in terms of your Widow? We didn't watch much of your Widow. We just assumed that you were going to hit stuff.
Well, I think my video was...
Use your microphone, Lynx. Use your microphone.
Oh, my video was not that great, actually, today. I think my game was better than usually. And that kind of helped us on the Gibraltar map, on attack at least.
Nox, you ended up playing double Lucio on the first King of the Hill. They had one Lucio. Did you smile after you defended the first attack? Did you smile to yourself after you defended the first attack?
Not at all. Like, it's classic.
It's not funny, mate. Right?
Fine.
There's nothing funny about it.
We usually play that lineup since a long time, since the beginning. I think it's Creation, like before it's flatter to make that kind of stuff with 2 Lucio, with that lineup. And the technique is like 1 Lucio is on speed, 1 on heal, and because when you're healing, your ulti is going up. Yep. Both Lucio have to switch on the heal, on the speed in good timing to get ulti really quickly. So if you have a good timing, you have 1 Lucio ulti on each fight. Yep. Technically, is that the tactic?
So obviously you and Numlocked have sort of fairly recently come in and joined this lineup, or recently enough, of course, coming over from G2. I mean, how have you found the transition? Because obviously you guys in G2 were a team before Overwatch, if I'm not mistaken. You rebranded. Was it Epsilon?
Yeah, we were Epsilon with TF2 during 3 years, something like that, winning a lot on TF2 with a good past with Numlock, of course. I know him since a long time, and yeah, G2 wasn't working that well, and finally we found good opportunity to join a really good mates and a good team.
Who does the strats? Who does the strats in the team? Who does the calls and stuff?
Technically, I'm the caller, but the strat...
But no one can understand you, or something.
Like, I'm calling the game more about the movement, what we're doing, but I think everyone is a part of the strat. We discuss a lot about that, about switching. We just set up some specific things at the beginning, like we know who's gonna switch on this map, on technically what character. usually, but everyone is like feel that this game is not static. You don't know it's gonna go different of the lineup. So if you have to let your player thinking on their own to decide the good counter class or extra.
So, interesting enough that if you're like, because you are the strat caller, but everyone gives information, who from the team gives the best information normally, and who on the team gives the worst information or no information?
I'm gonna.
I can just say that I don't think I said like maybe more than 4 words today.
This guy, just tunnel vision widow. His whole life is seen through a sniper scope.
But you're freeing up comms. You're freeing up comms for other people.
Yeah, that's my role, man. It's like making space for others.
Constantly making space.
No white noise, boys.
Killing, not
No
talking.
downtime, no downtime.
So obviously, guys, we'll show the bracket while we chat about this as well. But obviously, you guys advanced to the next round as well. You know who you're up against. You've seen a few of these teams in the past. You're going up against, obviously, Northern Gaming Blue next. So guys are probably feeling confident about that. But in general, I want to ask you, let's look at Rogue. What are your thoughts on Rogue? Of course, we've seen them pretty darn strong online. Of course, the Plays.TV tournament you guys were in, that was one that Rogue looked very strong in. Any thoughts?
This team is Gringo. The old Gringo, right? Or
Rogue?
no? It's
Tvic's team.
okay.
Tvik
I'm
wins,
bad.
AKM.
I think we never played them.
Oh,
so
really?
We played them? Really? I don't remember at all. So
You don't remember? They must be nothing to you
No, I
guys.
mean,
you probably played them, but you don't remember because they were
I don't
nothing.
know. I don't remember.
It's
No,
a strong
technically,
team.
really, I don't know at all. So anyway, we don't gonna underestimate anyone on this LAN
Sure.
because the LAN is technically totally different than online, and someone can step it up and surprise everyone that arrive. So we just prepare to take any fight against everyone and don't underestimate anyone.
Solid esports answer, Nox. I enjoyed that.
Well done. You e-sported very hard on that
So
answer.
Links, all right, so obviously you are put in a position where you play a lot of 1v1 situations or are fighting against the enemy Widow or you're playing an important role. Who are you most looking forward to going up against, this weekend? Is there a bit of pride there? Is there anyone you really want to show up on the LAN stage?
Who do you want to 1v1 against, Links? Come on.
I wanted the 1v1 against Cheney because he's like a Finnish sniper,
Yep.
And he like try-hard sniper every day. So I wanted to play against him and like outsmart him because I don't know if I can aim him.
Sure.
I think that would have been like interesting matchup. But from the teams we're gonna play, I think Lidano plays sniper on North Gaming Blue.
Yeah.
I think he's a good sniper too, so I think that's gonna be interesting matchup to play too.
Well, that'll be the matchup coming just around the corner, guys, I think, unless we do go to... Oh, we've got one more first round game to do, guys. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Well
Hopefully,
done.
we can chat to you guys later, but you'd have to win to do that, just so you know. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll throw it a break, guys. We'll get a bit of fresh air, or we can squeeze up a little bit further.
We'll go
if you
this
like.
way,
But
aren't we?
in the meantime, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back with some more games. The last of our first round games coming just around the corner.
I forgot you were here, Nathan.